Thank you. Thank you very much for having me here in Hyderabad. Your weather is as warm as the people of Hyderabad, so it's one of the best cities in the country to come to. So thank you very much, first of all, for having me here in Hyderabad. Before anything else, I think rather than me, we should be celebrating young Ishanvi. So she deserves another round of applause for what she's achieved. You know, I do a quiz. I do a quiz show for young school kids. We had to stop it during COVID, but it was a great opportunity to talk to young children. And maybe next time I should have a quiz question. Who is the youngest published author in the country? And who knows? The answer could well be Ishanvi. So congratulations, because you might well find yourself on the next round of quiz to be the youngest to have been published. I'll also tell you why I think it's very special that a 10-year-old should do what Ishanvi has done. This is the Instagram age. This is the age of social media where you're supposed to write everything in 280 characters. My children once showed me something called Snapchat. Now, I didn't understand what it was because the photograph went off inside a minute. But apparently that is the magic of the times in which we live. Everything is instant. It's here today, it's gone tomorrow. Now, in this age, very few people, therefore, particularly of Ishanvi's age, seem to spend enough time in actually putting together something which can be remembered even 5-10 years from now, a book. This is not the book age. When we grew up, many of you here, we used to think about it. We didn't have mobile phones. We didn't even have internet. So we actually wrote letters to each other. You know, in Hindi they say, "Pyar hota tha khat se." You know, old Hindi films or even Telugu films, I'm sure, the romance was over letters. Today, no one writes letters to each other. They're all on the mobile, talking to each other or doing FaceTime with each other. As a result, the art of writing, the art of communicating through words is increasingly being lost. I had actually started this quiz program to encourage young people to at least read newspapers, to maybe watch the news. Some of them do, but the truth is many of us don't, or many of our children don't. Many of the adults also don't. You see a family now across a table, each of them is looking at their mobile. None of them is actually talking to each other. They have very little time to actually talk to each other. So Ishanvi has reminded us that there is a world of letters that still exists.
And it's a very tough act once you have somebody as amazing as Rajdeep Sadesai sir here speaking. Speaking after him is like is a daunting task. I thought he was enough, but then I had Ishanvi speak after him, and Ishanvi did an amazing job, like hitting the ball out of the park. So I am very nervous for the first time speaking on stage now. So sir, we have always grown up watching you speak, sir, and a lot of our vocabulary has come from, like, you know, some of it has been picked up from you too. So you're an inspiration. And when I look at Ishanvi today, I'm reminded of myself. I mean, don't think you'll become like me later on. But I'm reminded of my 11-year-old self because, as I was just saying, Enid Blyton was the bread and butter, you know, for every kid back in the 1980s, 1990s. So my first book was, I still remember it as 5 Go to Billycock Hill. That was the famous 5 book which I read, which was given to me by my mother, and she encouraged me to read. And from then on, I always had this burning desire to write too as a kid, but I couldn't. So now when I see you, I can say how privileged you are to get this opportunity. And as you said, your family has been very supportive, Ishanvi, especially Divya Garu and Rajana. We call him Rajana, Rajshekar Reddy Garu. So both of them have been very supportive, and I'm telling you this, you are very, very lucky to have this opportunity, and you have made full use. Because I've gone through this, I've gone through the pictures, I've read part of it. It's beautiful. So the first reviews coming from me, guys. This book,
Thank you,
is a hit. Mysterious Mayhem is a very good read, and I would have enjoyed this. I enjoy this even now. So I must have enjoyed this as a kid. So all of you go get your copy on Amazon, and you already have just heard that all the proceedings are going to go for a very good organization called T-Hope, which I am happy to be a part of also because Rajan has made me a part of it too.